Hello and welcome to Two Dogs Digs for our Tuesday night live hall pass here in the frigid north. Yes, Doug, it's cold. It's damn cold up here. Hey, everyone, welcome. We will be having. Oh, Rick was having trouble getting on, so I just see now that he's on here. So these are new glasses. I'm trying to figure out if I like them or not. Nah, I don't like them. I think I'll switch back to my other glasses right now. There we go. I'll just use the ones I'm used to, even though they're dirty at the moment. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Today on Two Dogs Digs, we're going to talk about looking at your own listings as part of our January time to sort of refresh, rethink, relook at everything that you're doing. And here he is, my better half in the basement.
Hello.
Have you tested your anything?
Huh?
Have you tested your speaker?
Am I not working?
You sound really hollow to me.
Well, yes, no.
Well, let's have everybody else tell us whether they can hear you well or not.
La 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 la.
I'm making you talk, even though you don't want to talk.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Let me just double check the settings here.
And yes, it is a little bit of a look at yourself and just think about how fabulous you are. Okay, you sound fine to everyone. You just sounded not great to me. So,
well, you just don't like listening to my voice,
well,
or I talk so rarely you're not used.
You don't listen to me, so why should I listen to?
I don't listen. I don't talk. I'm a lump in the basement.
Big welcome to everybody. Okay, goodbye. No, big welcome to everybody again. Part of our January goals was for everybody to take a look at what you've done and what you can do to basically sort of shake your business up a bit. And part of that, we talked a little bit last week, is like to do inventory, but not just physically going through the inventory. We want to use this time to look at it as a way of inventorying what you've already even looked at doing, for example. So a big hi to everyone who is joining us here and live, and hello to everyone who's going to be watching us after the fact, because we usually have a few hundred people joining us after the fact as well. Make sure you can make comments or ask us questions or anything like that as a comment in the YouTube feed after the show. If you're watching it on repeat, no worries about that. We're also going to talk today about a couple of other little things as well. A couple of new research sites that we found. They're very niche, but they're very interesting. And we're going to talk about the start of part of this January thing is looking at how you can look at what you've got, including your profit piles. And so we have a challenge that we started this week, which was we're starting our listing challenges in the craft group. So we want you to look at the stuff that's in the craft group. Hopefully you'll join us in there, and hopefully you'll join us in some of the listing challenges, because we did a few of them, and we've had some with great success and some with virtually nobody doing the challenges. So we want to try and see if it's ways to sort of kick you up a little bit in what you're doing. A big hi to everybody here who is a sponsor of us, is a member of our Kennel Club as well. You'll see them. They have little icons beside them for $2.99 a month. You get to support us in helping you hopefully find better ways to make some more money. So I'm going to say a big happy hello to Tina, who is, yes, we are in sub-zero temperatures. It is about 5 degrees Celsius, minus 15 to 20 degrees, or 5 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 15 to 20 degrees Celsius where we are. It is extremely cold. Kendra's got it cold too. So Susan's here. Lisa, Mr. Carl up in Ottawa, where they had a ton of snow. Hey, Louette and Kathy, Michael, Heather, who has started on our part of our challenge, our listing large challenge. She's actually got her first listing up for our listing challenge. Donna, who had a great photo today of her cat helping her. Lisa, Mr. Greg, our book maven, Kevin, Joel, let's see, Louette. Let's see who else we got. Charmaine, hey, hello. I don't want to see if I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see. Okay, everybody says he sounds good.
I do, don't I?
Hey, Sherilyn.
I do sound good, doesn't
Cool.
I?
Yes, you does sound good. Hey, Sandy. So let me just go right to that first thing, which is in our craft group. For those of you who are members, if you're not, please think about joining us in the craft group. We have a challenge, and the challenge that we've started this month for the next 2 weeks is the large and in charge challenge. So this is what we're asking you is take a look at the stuff that is big and is taking up stuff and space that you need to think about getting rid of. So I'm going to tell you, so what we've done in the past 2 days, today's Tuesday. So since yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, we've been focusing on our board game area. And this is literally our board game area that we've cleared out. This was full. These shelves were filled top to bottom, all the way top to bottom, and there's still stuff that we're going to be clearing out from here. Some of this stuff we've now listed. The Creepy People, the Caribou game is listed, but we cleared out 3 feet plus of space right there, just with this one thing and looking at this one area. And it's surprising what we did find was some of the stuff was a waste of money.
Well, it's been there so long.
Well, I don't know why. It's like we were looking at things and yes, and it is complete. It is complete. We were looking at stuff and I kept looking at this stuff and going, did I buy it? Why did I buy it? Would it have been worth this much money before? I'm doing a little bit of a Chandler. Would it have been this much money? But no, it was one of those things that we found. And so this is also sort of in the look at the new year and look at how you've got stuff from your profit piles and think about the fact that you have money invested in this and it's basically dead money. I mean, there's no other way to really work it. It's dead money. It's money that you threw away. It's like lottery tickets or coffee that you bought or that stale loaf of bread that you left in the kitchen. It's any of those things. At least yesterday in that pile, we found well over $200 worth of stuff that was bought. $3.99 for this board game, $4.99 for this board game, all sorts of stuff like that. $9.99 for this board game, and then found, oh, this is worth $14. Time to get rid of it for the space. Now, if you have the ability to have garage sales year round, then good. Maybe you can do that. If you can donate and get a coupon, because at least if you're getting a coupon for Value Village or Savers is 20% for 50, so that can be worth $10 to $20. $10 if you're in Canada, $20 if you're in the States. You get 20% off at Salvation Armies, I know, that are around us. So I know some people don't have places that give coupons, but some places do. But if you can at least get $10 back for the $20 you spent on something that's just taking up room in your house, it might be time to think about whether it's time to do that. Hey, Sal. Yeah, list stuff locally with no fees on it to see if that's even worth it, if it's worth your time. I mean, we thought about that on a couple of things, Lisa, but we were finding games that were basically worth $10. Right, Rick?
Yeah.
I'm just looking out to the side, so I'm like, is Rick part of the show today? I'm not sure what he's doing.
I'm looking at something on my other screen.
Oh, so. Okay. No coupons, but at least it's worth donating. Yeah, no coupons. Oh, that's too bad. You guys don't get coupons. Kendra found items you put a piece of tape on that said valuable, right? Well, that's just it. Again, I was looking at stuff that I bought and I was
honestly, I write myself notes all the time but I keep them on the same pad of paper, and I have no idea what the heck they relate to. So I'm with you. I know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, and if you go to Kijiji or Marketplace and you can do 1 or 2 picks, minimal description, but still, we just $5. We don't like trying to have $5, $10 items for pickups on Facebook. And we found like it's just 90% of the people never come by. It just seems to be a waste. Now, yes, there is a good thing about that, which is you find stuff you had no clue how valuable it was. And for a silly example, but from the picture that we had here, we had this. I had 3 caribou games, which sell on average quite fast for usually $40 to $50 US. With literally, like, if you look at the solds in the past 90 days for the Cranium Caribou game, there's tons at $40, $50. And I have 3 of these stuck on top of each other. Well, I opened them up. One of them had most of the parts missing. So why did I buy it? And I paid $4.99. The other one had everything in there except a couple of cards. So I stole the cards from the one set and put it in the other. So this caribou game that's right here, I just listed for $50. So I'm going to get my money back on that. And this Creepy People game, it's a thing from the 1960s, 1965 actually. And somewhere. Yes, it's still selling. It's still selling. And the funny thing was, I found a French caribou game in there. I bought a French one. So that's getting listed actually next. Because and I'm listing that one at $75 because it's a little harder to find. But so hopefully with those 2 things there, I'm going to make up for all the other stuff. And we are doing a max sold, and we're going to put games in our max sold. So we did that with puzzles that we bought. Sometimes I bought them at like 3D puzzles, which are really big. And again, shipping is getting more expensive. So a lot of things that the more expensive shipping gets, the harder it is to sell a $10, $15 puzzle with a $20 shipping charge. And we had some big 3D puzzles. They were sealed.
Well, I think you bought them during the pandemic.
I bought them, during COVID because puzzles were selling.
Them listed.
Puzzles were selling like crazy. Huh?
We never got them listed.
No, I never got them listed. No, that's it. Facebook is a joke in Jersey. Get messages, but no one comes. Yeah, that's what we find too. Well,
Heather got.
No, Mall Madness is not uncommon, Elisa, but this Mall Madness is the first edition, which is actually the harder one to find. And what's even worse is when you find it and then you take it apart and test it and you lose the battery cover. It is somewhere in our house.
Isn't that the white battery cover you just found?
No, it's a pink thing. And the battery cover I just found is white.
Okay.
Tina said she sold her first pickup item on eBay. It was a hassle getting the listing rate, $10 to get rid of the item. Yeah. That's why you do porch pickup for anything under $50. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Some people don't have porches. But let's see. I'm just going to see. Elisa had a Golden Girls Monopoly set, was missing 90% of the pieces, but had all the tokens. So yeah, you do have to, and you're doing well, Lisa. 6 things for $80. Good for you. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's just it's a challenge. So the large and in charge challenge is for you to, in the next 2 weeks, go through your profit piles. And as I put in the little thing, it's like, I know you don't have to go thrifting in the next 2 weeks. And I know you might have FOMO, but you've got to have stuff at home, Mo. HOME-O. You've got or if you want to, I may have some FOMO, but I got a lot of stuff this homo at home. I don't know. I was just,
Domo. Your Mojo Dojo
Casa. My Mojo Dojo Casa Homo has a lot of stuff in it. So, that's neat. A Splash Mountain Sorry board game today for 16. Yep. And he just bought it for 50. And that's because Splash Mountain has been changed now. So it's one of those things where people want the old stuff because of the old Song of the South listings, the way Splash Mountain used to end up being a Disney, but now it's turning into Tiana's Hideaway from Princess and the Frog. Rick does not list a thing on Marketplace. I'm the one who has to put everything on Marketplace. That's one thing.
I did have a couple of months, maybe 3.5 years ago. It was during the pandemic when I did put things on Facebook Marketplace and I was selling them, but it was way too much back and forth peopling. It's like, ooh, no.
But you were selling them.
Yes.
So I keep telling him, you sold stuff. Speaking of a little thing before we get into some of the other checkup things, I want to know if anybody can help Tamara Taylor. Tamara's in our group, and Tamara posted a picture of something that she had, and she does not know. Nobody's answered her. She does not know what this is.
I answered her earlier.
Well, you and I answering her is one thing, because we try to answer every single post if there's no answer there at all. I answered as well, saying I don't know what the heck this is. But this was something that Tamara found. She actually did it in a house that was being, it's not a sconce. This is the inside of it. So it's actually like, there's no place for a light. There's no place for anything in it. It's just a strange looking thing and it's got like, the bottom has like a little ball. Glass marble on it, but like if you stood it upside down, it would be nothing. It's like we tried.
It's a fancy Dalek from the future.
An ashtray missing the base. Oh, Lisa was just looking at a standing ashtray, a floral vase for a funeral parlor. Hey, Colonel Lava, thanks for joining us here. A lantern cup. Yeah, that would be a lot of ash. It would be a large person that's large and in charge. None of us could figure out what it is. Part of a hanging chandelier. So Tamara's not able to watch tonight. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Everything on Google Images ends up showing you like some form of light, but sometimes it might be something. It's a finial for a top of a lamp. It could be. It's like, do you put it on this way? Do you sit it on top of? But like, yeah, we just. Bob says it's a worthless piece of crap. Well, you know what? Actually, Tamara's looking at donating it. If she can't figure out what it is, she says she's going to donate it. She picked it up from a house that was actually being demolished. So it was kind of a garbage pick. But she's like, oh, I got to figure out what to do with this. And
it's interesting. I probably would have picked it up too if it was free.
Nothing with it, but she carled it. So we can tell tomorrow, well, sorry, Tamara. There's nothing we could find for you that could help you. So now let's go into talking a little bit more about what we said, which is looking at the stuff that you have listed. I'm going to start with the normal place, but we're going to talk eBay and we're going to talk Etsy because those are the two main places that we're looking at right now. I will message her about that, but I don't know if it's worth spending more time. She said she spent like a half an hour or more on it already. So
it's a doohickey.
It's one of those things where, again, you also have to watch that you're not spending like 2 hours trying to research something to find out it's worth $5.
And 100 people researching on her behalf is burning through
the challenge is
time of staff.
Yes, but we put a couple of things in identify my artwork, and nobody wants to try and identify. There's so many things that go through there that half the time the posts just get missed. Like, because we had that really interesting thing we found at the Value Village, and I put the post up, and we got one person going, I think the signature says this, and two other people going, I love this, but that's no help when you're trying to say, can anybody identify who this is? Because we tried the Google imaging everything our thing. So maybe that's an interesting one. There were some lamps associated with Jewish synagogues that the oil lamps hung from something that kind of looked like that. Oh, maybe like hung from that part, maybe here. Well, she'll be watching this after, so she can take all these hints and figure out what it is she would like to do with this. So, first thing first, I don't know if this is true or not, but I don't remember. I always talk about when you want to have something, you put an offer, you want to have your best offers on things along those lines. We had a few things that have lately shown up that I do not remember ever adding best offer to on eBay. Yet we have best offers. Now, when I use best offer, I always put a threshold on it. So if I had a $25 item, I would put like a $15 or $16 minimum offer so that I'm not getting $1 offers. Well, in the past week, I have had multiple $2 and $3 offers. I had a $12 offer today on a $90 item, and I was like, hell no. Like, I don't
and
even
it's not me going in and changing offer settings just to mess with Craig's mouth.
Was that what you're doing? You're just watching
it? Before you even think about it, because it would be something that I would do.
Evil husband.
No, I would never.
No, I don't think you would. So what I wanted you to do is, again, I want to remind you to take a look at what you've got on eBay and the ways to look at it. So first thing we're going to do is I want you to go, for those of you who are on eBay, but I'm sure, Tina, I have minimum offers. And there is no way that I ever put something with no offer on this. This is why Carl thinks he's had offers as well.
Anecdotally, we've heard some stories in some groups online about eBay arbitrarily adding best offer to items that may have or may start to look to be stale, and it could be eBay trying to increase activity on an item that the algorithm thinks should sell. That's the thinking that I've read on a couple of other groups. I don't buy into it, but I wouldn't put it past eBay to change a listing, because we've had ghost listings. We've had things relisted that sold.
Yeah, well,
stuff happens.
You don't have to accept any offers at all, and unless it's a counter offer, you've accepted counters and they disappear and it never sells. That's a weird one too. But we've had some people who've said that they aren't even seeing their offers show up. They're only seeing them expired, which is another weird one. But for us, what we're looking at is that we want you to just take a look at your own listings, and let's start with eBay. This is how our eBay page looks right now. Go into your seller hub, and I want you to remember, this is something, again, we talk about this all the time, but there's some new people in here, and there's people who watch this who may not have seen it before. Go into your listings, go into active listings, and then when you do that, I want you to slide down here and look at the filters, the quick filters that are on here. And again, a lot of people don't use the quick filters, and it's such an easy way to understand how you're doing with certain things. So in this case, you can look up item specifics. There are 423 of our 719 items that need something recommended. There's 692 of them which are promoted listings. Eligible, we don't really care. We have done promoted listings on 6 items. We have offers available to send on 39. We have 5 that we've sent offers to. But this is the one thing I want you to look at. Best offer eligible, 514. So it's not on all our listings. Best offer added, 183. So if you look below, you've got all 119 things. And if we sold every one of them, we'd sell $32,000, boom, like that, and have to sell 1,155 items.
And that would be a lot of packing.
That would be a lot of packing, but I want to look at the best offer added. So you can see, if I click on that, you actually see the offer, the things you have the best offers available to. There, it's reminding you, hey, you can send offers out too. So the reason I wanted to take a look at this is I wanted to see what I may have the offers on. So again, you can, oh, sorry, I'll make this as big as I possibly can so that you can hopefully see what it is there. Again, if you're looking at this, you can also adjust the way the table reads. So you can look at this and say, this happens to be the current price. I know you can't see it because it's so small. But if I make it, I can make it bigger, but you'll end up seeing nothing other than that CP. So that's the current price. That's the SKU, which I don't really need to look at for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to customize the table and move some stuff around. I'm going to take the start date, click on that. I'm going to move it up so it's right underneath current price. I'm going to take the SKU and I'm going to move it down. I'm going to take the watchers, because that's another important thing to look at. I'm going to move that up. And I'm going to take that's all I need, actually. Those are the ones that are most important to me. And if I save that, it will rejig this so that the first thing up is the title, current price, start date, and watchers. I think I can add views. I didn't have views, and there's views. So I'll put views and then watchers. So I can now look at all of my items and see, well, this one's been up. It has 13 views in the last 30 days. It has 7 watchers on it. It has $14.88 as the price. If I want, I can do that thing which eBay allows me to do now, which is research pricing. So, but in this case, I'm looking at it mainly because I want to know, I don't want to have offers on anything that's under $10. If I've got, and this is one of the things that we found yesterday, I got an offer for $2 on an item I already was selling for $10 with free shipping. Now it's just little paper labels, but there shouldn't have been an offer on that at all. I never would have had an offer set on something that is $10 free shipping, paper labels. Doesn't even make any sense. And some of it pisses me off. I do admit, I do get mad when someone offers me $1 underneath what I'm selling it for. And I guess some people, I'll take it if I got an offer on there. So I just saw something in here. Have you always been able to make an offer through the chat function? Not always, but you can now. In a lot of cases on eBay, it will come up with, if you have a message from somebody, and I think we actually have one I can show you on my phone. I'm not sure if it'll show up or not. Which was, we just got somebody asking us about an item.
It was the McDonald's playset thingy.
Home. Inbox. Where are my inbox? My eBay messages. So I'm going to have to pop this up. So now you can actually see, here's my phone. And right at the top, somebody's sending us a message asking us about something, and we can actually send the offer right now directly from that. So we don't have to go and send, like, this isn't something that necessarily had a best offer added to it, but it's something that someone said, I'm interested in this, and that eBay will let you now send an offer out to people. So that's actually something that we really like, and I've actually sold a few things that way.
Yeah, it's nice to have that shortcut right there, so you don't have to go search the item out and then send offers, and maybe that person won't get the offer.
Yeah.
This gives you a more direct connection to someone who's actually interested in buying your item.
So in this case, what I am able to look at here is things that have how long something's been listed. These are all best offer things. They're all over $19. I did change a few of them already. But if I wanted to remove the best offer from any of them, all I have to do is go into there, edit best offer, and then click on here and remove the best offer from all of the things. And it would remove it from every single one of them. So I'm going to cancel that on there. So that's one of the ways you can, you can also edit the offer in here, accepting automatic things of a percentage. Now that's a new one because it never used to allow that. So I could change this so that it will accept offers on all of these that is 20% off. Now that's a easy way for me to actually set your offers up. So if you think about that, I now have all these offers set with 20% off is what I can do on them. And they're all things that I already said I want to have offers on. Now, I'm going to go back now to something else, which is our total listings, which are total live listings, our total active live listings. Because the other thing that I want you to think about is what you are doing with things that are really old. So again, we sorted this by start date. So here's the start date for everything right in here. So I can go on here now and I can take a look at these and go, this is stuff that I've had listed since 2019. Now, in a lot of cases, I found that this stuff that I've had, it's sorting by the start date, is stuff that is old, like parted out Christmas things. Like this, look at all these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have this, I don't even remember buying this. An embroidered ivory buttonholes pattern white satin fabric remnant. What an awful title to this.
What the hell is that?
I don't know what that is. This is like, I have no clue.
Oh, that was something done when you had a different employee.
Well, it's 2019, so it's now 5 years old. And it actually has one view, but I don't know what. So I'm going to actually pull this out. I got to go look at it and find it in Fabric 3-2.
I don't even know if we have a fabrics box anymore.
I don't know if we have that box either. So let's just end that listing.
End that one.
Huh?
End that one. That's a good thing. We've just ended a listing that might have sold.
Yes, a lot of this again. This is. This is something I thought I'd try and sell. And again, this is the stuff that you look at and you go, okay, I'll try and see what I could do with this. Why? It's a fan club for Jerry Vale. And nobody wants it. I don't know why. But again, this is something that's like, this has been around for a long, long time. Jerry Vale's been dead for a long time. I think a lot of people who like Jerry Vale might be nearing death. But that, again, is something that we've had listed since March 6th, 2019. So 5 years. And,
oh, good Lord.
And with that listing of 5 years, we have had, there's a few things in there. Nobody looking at it in the last 30 days. Now, this is the one thing I wish is that they had not gone to 30-day on this, because I liked it when I could see how much the total views were for this. But it's something that's completely gone now. So it's so difficult to look at. So I'm just seeing a lot of stuff in here that's old and going, no, none of it. Now, this still sells. This is the syrup thing. So I'm able to look at that and go, wow, we're still selling. We've sold 5. We update this all the time. This is one of the $7.95 things with shipping added to it. You sold some items. So I know that with that, even though it's 5 years old, I'm still selling on that. But I also know that this John Deere shirt, nobody wants it $10, and it's not worth me keeping up there. So that's one of the things that I think is really key, is you to take a look at stuff, sort by your start date. And then the other thing to sort by would be your current price, and see what is it that you've got your current price on. And I'm going to do it the opposite way. And this one, I'm going to sort by my highest price. And there we've got the, if you remember, we did the Super Cat. So we just got him listed. We got him listed at 325. We had a couple of people ask us questions on him. So he's been listed a little over a week now, I think.
Yep.
January 5th. So yeah, just a little over a week. There's Rick's statue. And see, Super Cat, 55 views and 5 watchers. Now, we don't have a best offer added to it. I could decide to add best offer at any point. That's the other thing, too, is then I go through this and go, okay, we just listed this yesterday. We just listed Rick's xylophone. And this is part of the big. This is big.
We never showed the xylophone. That was my contribution, or supposed to be my contribution to the listing challenge. Find something big and list it.
I told him he had to list it. So you can
chat about play the video. You have to play the video.
Oh wait, I have to. I don't know if I can do that on this properly. I don't know if it plays well, like if anybody can hear it.
It should. No, there we go. It sounds beautiful.
Isn't he talented? I'm so proud of my boy. He's so
I
talented.
was driving Doug crazy trying to play Doe a Deer for like
And
an
Doug kept
hour.
barking in the middle of when he was trying to do the listing too. But again, this was one of the things that was try to get something large. So this is a brand new xylophone, right, Rick?
Yep.
Talk. Why don't you tell them your
Yeah,
story?
no, we basically walked into a local. I can't remember the name of it.
Goodwill.
No,
Salvation Army.
it was a Salvation Army because there was no tax. It was in the display case, and it was priced at $40. And I looked at it and thought, this is interesting. I took it out of the display case and put it in my cart, and the lady came running from behind the little cash desk, and she had an extra set of mallets with her. She said, "Oh, this was supposed to go with it. It was found on a shelf." And they had just thrown the box for it away. So I'm not sure if it was damaged or what, but
The box.
the box. So I looked it up in the store, and I saw that new they sell for about $380 to $480 US. So I said, I'm buying this, Craig. I'm buying it. And then I didn't list it for, 3 months?
So we decided, again, this is part of a different strategy. We decided that we weren't going to list it at $350 to $400. We want to get it out of here. So we've listed it at $275. So we're $40 to $50 under everybody else who's listed this type of thing. Plus, this is new. I mean, it's never been played. So we made sure that in our condition, it says that it's never been played. And in our actual description, we talk about the fact that we had to unwrap the metal bars from the paper so that people know that it's actually never been played. So, but yeah, so
I don't consider what I did playing it.
No, that's.
But it sounds
I think I even said except for us to do the videos. There was no way for us to list it. It would either have to be new or it had to be used. There was no new other on this one. That's why we tried. I couldn't.
Yeah, new other isn't a category in musical instruments or wherever it is.
Yeah, and what it was. So, but yeah, so we're going through the stuff like that. And again, this is part of the large and in charge thing is to be able to look at things and say, okay, well, this has been listed since September 9th. So again, by date and by price, I'm able to go, well, you know what? Maybe I should add, I've got 9 viewers and 3 watchers. So I'm going to actually take this and I'm going to edit it to include the actual best offer in there. So because everything in that, it was great. We bought it for like $20 at an estate sale and hope to get a lot of money from it, but haven't yet. So I'm actually going to bring it down to allowing offers of $175. And I'm going to take the price actually down at the same time to $225. So when those things happen, we're not exactly sure whether the people who are watchers see something, but I do believe they may actually see that this has been updated, which again could be a good thing. The other thing to do, and this is something that Rick was talking about, was if you're going through something like that and you see something that is extremely old, like I'm trying to find
your screen again, please.
I'm trying to find something that's extremely old here.
Why are you looking at me? You're showing me.
This is one of Rick's thing, November 22nd, 2022. So now we're talking about something that is about a year and a half old. This was his, I can't even pronounce it, the Bisque Ugamachi Candy Cane Baby Cookie Jar Blue, Pink, Gray, Black.
Yeah, not the best title, but I took
That
it
is
from
a
a
terrible title.
I
That
took
is
it from
not
a
mine.
listing that sold. It was a sell similar, and I didn't do much work on it. Have at it, Craigie.
So when we look at that, we have 11 views and 3 watchers on this particular thing. So, but what I think we're going to do on this one is, and this is something that Rick wanted us to do, is we're going to end that listing. And when we end the listing, the reason we're going to end it is we're going to pop it back up again as a new listing. And because we actually are sitting there, we can now go into our listings, into ended. It should show up right there. We are going to relist this.
And we're not going to make any changes, are we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, I thought we were going to try not making.
Well, no, in
okay.
this particular case, because this has been sitting around for a year and a half.
Okay, Sensei.
Right. We're going to change this into, we're going to try and see what will happen if we take this. We want to get rid of this. It's been a year and a half. We haven't had any nibbles. So we're going to see if we're going to take this down to a $75 starting bid. Make sure that we've got the $25 listed there. So I don't know any way to make it look better than, I can always change the title afterwards. So we're going to leave it as the title, but we're going to put it in as an auction now for 7 days at $75. Because
you have to take off the pay immediately.
It's not on there.
Okay, sorry.
So we're listing this right now because, again, we don't want to keep stuff around that we have money invested in.
That's one of the cookie jars we got. Sorry, that's one of the cookie jars we got from that estate sale too.
Yeah. So we paid, actually, I think in that case, we paid $8 for it. But it's still $8 sitting in
there,
our house.
Taking up room.
So it's going into the max sold or going into there for $75, and we'll see whether we can get any money for it. And if we don't get any money for it, we're going to flip it from there. After a couple of months, it'll go into one of our local max solds. We may try it on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe I'll get Rick to put it on Facebook Marketplace.
Nope. No peopling for me.
Well, this is a big area of discussion. Relisting versus selling similar. It's, what, did we spell it wrong?
Okay.
Ungy match.
All right, I'll go in and fix it.
And actually, Heather says she does the same thing. So, Oogie match or Ungy match? See, Hydron found it too. So, we still got watchers on it, surprisingly enough. My old is like 2009. It says Lisa. Oh, well, some of this stuff actually is older than that. Like we have stuff that is older, but we do this revising and either do sell similars or relisting. There's a couple of things that some people don't like doing, and I'll show this to Sandy. So when you sell similar, you're building a brand new listing. Now, there is talk that when you relist something, the links stay the same. That's what we understand. If you do decide to do a sell similar, the one thing you always have to remember is if you use sell similar, you've got to go back into your ended and you have to remove it because sell similar will not remove it from there. So here's a perfect example. We have a Tinkerbell doll that we had in. We're going to relist this as a fixed price. So if I relist this, if I go here, I can sell I'll do this as a sell similar instead of relist. If I do this as a sell similar, I don't want to change anything on it at all. I don't want to change the price or anything other than raising the price up from auction to buy it now. And I'm going to leave it at the $99 because I think that was a fair amount. I only paid $2 for it, so let's do it at $95. And I'm going to list this right now. I'm going to list it, but what will happen is it still sits in your ended. So here it was, we were at the ended, and there it still is. So you have to remember that you have to delete it from your ended items if you've done it as a sell similar. If you do it as a relist, it disappears from your sell similar. And there's a couple of things that we had today. So we these are things, again, look at that too. We've got all these things that we haven't relisted that we need to relist. So that's one of the challenges, is always remember to look at your listings and the things. Do you regain the watchers? No. Not that I don't believe so, but we'll be able to know in a short time with what we did. I suspect there's a lot of ghost listings that come from people. Yeah, there's, because you could end up by mistake, especially if you change one word in a title, you could end up relisting your ended listings. And I think we've done it a few times where we've actually had 2 or 3, like the 2 listings up of the same thing. We never had 2 of those things. But the listing title has got like one thing different. One word all in caps, the other one not all in caps. Like something like that that's driven us crazy. So, and that's why we always say, take a look at what it is. And this is part of it. As you saw, we had $32,000 worth of inventory. It didn't cost us $32,000. But I'm sure it cost us a few $1,000s. And so that few $1,000s is sitting in here. And so even today, I went thrifting, and I bought nothing. Because I literally I'm going to be extremely, extremely harsh as to whether something is worth my looking at. Looked at the cookie jar again and see if the watchers are back. Well, Rick will be able to tell you that. Relisting, you keep watchers. Sell similar, you don't. Okay. But the relisting, Rick can look at that and see.
I'm looking now.
Because I don't want to be popping back and forth on that.
Nope, still showing as zeros.
Still shows as 0. So it doesn't show as anybody. It's showing up as there it is, 0, 0, and 0. So none of the watchers. We actually flipped it to an auction too. So that might lose things versus a regular sell similar. So let me see if I can find something else that ended. And we'll test that right here and now with that. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let me just test something else that we have here. So I'm just going to see if it has in here. No, that was an auction. So I'm trying to, it has to be something that that had actual watchers on it. I don't have any that really have a lot of watchers on them. So we'll have to try and test that, though. We will try that. Now, so that's one of the things I want you to do in eBay. I want you to go into your actives. I want you to take a look at what's there, and I want you to take a look down and do those things. But the other thing that I want you to do is, if you're in Etsy, and we're not pros on Etsy, we're still far from pros on Etsy. We're trying to get there, and the way we're trying to get there is, here's my regular little, we're trying to get there because we use Crossless Magic. For those of you who are tuning in now or watching after the fact, Crossless Magic is a Chrome extension that allows you to duplicate a listing from eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari, your Shopify store, into any of those. So it can be from eBay to Etsy, from eBay to Etsy to Poshmark, from Poshmark to Etsy and eBay, all of those different things. You can look at doing that. And we have a promo code where if you do it and you sign up for them, you get 7 days for free. And with that 7 days for free, if you sign up with the promo code of 2DogsDigs, you actually get 3 months for 50% off. It's $9.95 a month. So it's one of the cheapest cross-listing things out there. There's a few people who've used it, but it's an amazing thing. And so we've got our Etsy listings up. But one of the things that we looked at today was trying to look at some of our Etsy listings and saw an interesting thing to keep in mind. So we're looking here. This is our Etsy store. So we've just gone into our listings in our shop manager, gone to our active status. We're at 76 now. So we've been up and down a little bit, but we're trying to get up. I did delete some stuff recently. And what I can do on things is look at this. And this is, I think, one of the important things to look at on Etsy. When you look at your live listings, you get to see that in this specific case, that this item has been renewed 16 times. Now, 16 times of this item, I have $20 worth of revenue. I spent 40 cents every time this just got lit. So I've spent $6 listing this thing. I've sold one. In this case, I have 3 renewals on this. So I have no renewals on this, but you can check your visits, how many people have favored it. And there's things that help you in this. In this, for perfect example, we sell this Ratatouille piece, and it's been listed and renewed 11 times. So 11 times is 44 months. Each renewal is for 4 months.
Actually, renewals are 20 cents. It's 40 listings that you get for free if you refer somebody.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's the wrong way around. But it's still, that's every renewal is costing us money when we're doing this on here. So, but in this case, we've had $359 worth of revenue from this one thing. So again, something I never really noticed before was being able to see how many visits there are in the last 30 days, but how many renewals you've had on things. In this case, I've got 21 visits, 1 renewal, 16 visits, 1 renewal. I got a few favorites on it. We have favorites in here. So again, we can look at these and see all these different things that we put up and start looking, going, how many times do we want to renew it? But again, the easy thing, crop the pic for the McDonald's. No, that actually, there is another picture of it in there. I guess we had a crop picture of it, but I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh, fine. Well, I don't need to crop that. That was the picture before. This was supposed to be the primary, so I'll just swap them around. There. So that it's the bigger picture, and publish the changes on that.
Yeah, sometimes Etsy confuses me with the first picture because it does its own cropping if it's not a square picture. So I automatically pull out and have a smaller item in the center of the frame.
It was scary to me too. That's also one of the reasons that I think crosslist magic is so amazing, is because the only thing we're not doing this on any of our stuff that we crosslist from eBay to Etsy. We're not doing tags. We're doing it the simplest possible way. It's the same when we did Poshmark, and we may start up Poshmark again. It will be the type of thing where we will literally not be doing the following. And so I can't be bothered. That's one of the things that killed us on Poshmark, was there was too much work after we tried to list something to try and get people to see those things. Like, it was just, it drove me crazy. So it was like, okay, how many people have used it? And you were favoriting and following and pushing yourself to people who couldn't even buy you, like, or never shop from you. And Sarah saying it's funny because she's too nervous to do eBay, but she loves Etsy. And again, that's the nice thing about trying this crosslist magic, Sarah. If you sign up for your eBay account, you can take one little thing that's on Etsy. I'm going to do it for you right now. I'm going to show you that one thing. If we're going to take one thing like this is not on eBay. So I'm going to go to crosslist magic. I'm going to take this and I want to crosslist it to eBay US. So that's what I'm picking up here. I can list it to eBay Canada, eBay US. I'm going to list it to eBay US. And all I have to do is now click on this little green button. And look, it's building the eBay listing for me. Like that. It's taking everything from my Etsy listing and it's making an eBay listing for me. So it's taking the pictures from it. You can see it's building. There it is. It's building it all up. There's my listing. That's how easy crosslist magic is. And then it's got my title. Now, the only thing I have to do on this is I have to say, oh, well, I have to give the brand. I want to give the character. I want to give the year. And then I also need to put in where I might keep it. the SKU. So I'm going to go back to my Etsy store.
I think it just says
Have this
Etsy
in
box.
the Etsy box. No, so I'm going to put this and say Etsy cross list. So I now know that it's there. Then it's the category. It's trying to put it in a category, and you can see it tried to put it in the right one, animation merchandise. So it even tried to figure out where it belongs. You can put things in here. You can fill anything else in here. You don't need to. Now, here's the little thing you need to put in. You might have to click off new. There it pulled my description. So all I have to do is decide what I want as my price and what my shipping is going to be. And it's fixing all of those the way that I want them to and list it. I now have this listing on eBay. That's all I had to do. Nothing, not hard at all. So like nothing, it's so easy to do. Try. That's another thing. Lisa had not tried eBay for years, and now she does a little bit more on eBay than she did before. Etsy makes a Lisa. Like it's just everybody's got their own little thing, but it does miss things. Well, yeah, there's certain things you might have to change. Like if I do an eBay listing to Etsy, it will ask me when was it made and is it a finished item and all that sort of stuff. And you'll have to put a quantity in. There's a few things that it puts in there. Doesn't Etsy require you to sell to all countries? What happens with the German packaging laws? You can pick and choose where it goes. I don't sell to a lot of countries. I only sell to, we sell to Canada and a couple of other countries. Sarah's done the same. You can choose where you'll ship and not ship to. So, and she's up to 1,250 and 400 on eBay. And this is like only 2 years ago, I think, was her first eBay listing. So that's just it. It's a really easy way for you to look at flipping stuff around. But again, I want you to look at your Etsy shop if you haven't been on Etsy, if you are on Etsy. And I want you to just take a look at some of the things to see how many times have you renewed something? How much revenue have you got from it? How many visits have you had? How many favorites have you had to things? Just to go, wait a minute, I don't know. Do I need to keep this on? Like, is there something else I should do with this? And like on Etsy, one of the things that we've actually set up is in our, I'm going to go back here. I've made it so big, it's hard for me to see. So I have to do this. In here, we've actually done, I think this is where I've got it. No, where have I got it? There's a coupon thing you can set in here, and I'm trying to remember where I have to set it up. It's been a while since I've done it.
I think it's under marketing.
Etsy, sales and discounts. There it is. So I have favorited item. I offer people who favorited a 10% email or 10% off. And abandoned cart, I have a 10% email set up as well. So in both of those things, if someone has favorited my item, they get, that's one thing I like about Etsy versus eBay, they get an offer for 10%. And my prices on Etsy, I get more money on a lot of things on there. Lisa, yeah, see, even Posh, if you're not on Posh, this is a way for you to try Posh too. Well, that's a lot. You have 3 eBay stores. One has 1,300, one has 300, one has 253. Now, people ask, why do you have 3 eBay stores? In all likelihood, is because one of your eBay stores doesn't do tracking. So it does a lot of stuff by just letter mail. And people take that and separate the two so that they keep their top seller status on the one thing that has to have tracking, and lots of thin little stuff that can just be sent via the mail. They don't have a big price on. They send through letter mail. That's why. And Lisa has almost 500 on Facebook Marketplace. Well, again,
Don't drive me nuts. No, thank you.
No, but part of the question becomes, when you have this many things on this many platforms, at what point should you start going, I need to get rid of some of these? Because having 500 listings and 1,000 listings and 2,000 listings, if you're regularly selling 200 or 300 and you're listing 200 or 300 more, that's great. But a lot of people like us, 300 of our listings, of our 700 listings, are probably absolutely useless listings. And that's the thing that we're going to focus a lot more on 2024, is clearing those out. getting rid of the things so that they are not around, that we don't have to worry about them, that we don't have to think about them, that we've spent the money, we've lost it, whatever. It's just it's great. We know people who've got lots and lots of listings who do stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Again, for us, it's just not there. 1,100 on eBay and 470 on Etsy. See, yeah, and yeah, you can less listings work for higher ROI. That's a good comment to potentially.
But that's also one of the things that we're trying to do is find things that have the higher resale value, so that our average selling price is more than $10.
Yeah. So that's the two big things I wanted you to do: is look at your own listings on eBay and Etsy. Do the same with your own Poshmark. Consider doing the same even to your Facebook list, marketplace listings, your Kijiji, your Craigslist, any of that sort of stuff, and see what you need to get rid of. What did you put an investment in that you may be able to just even get your investment back? You've had this for 3 years. And if you've had this for 3 years and it was $5 and you didn't get the $30 or $40 or $50 that you hoped to get for it, can you get the $5 back on it? Then get that $5 back and move forward. Get that out of your space. That's why Max Sold is great for us, because that gives us lots of abilities to get rid of big amounts of stuff really easily. Charmaine has 272 on Marketplace and only on Marketplace. Well, I think if you look at, just as a test, Charmaine, if you want to take a look at that, on the CrossList Magic, you can actually take something from Facebook Marketplace right here, and you could try and cross-list it somewhere. So if you've never done anything anywhere else, Facebook Marketplace is also one of the things that you can actually do from using CrossList Magic. There we go here. You got kicked off Etsy at Christmas. 3 items sold on eBay and then sold on Etsy the same day and had to cancel the order there. Yeah, that's a tough one. Make sure you got CrossList. We've actually had that happen once. We've had one thing sell on Etsy and eBay, and it was the same person was trying to buy 8 of a set of mugs, and we had 4 listed here and here. But we only did it once, so we didn't get kicked off. So we were lucky. Oh, okay. Sold the same day, which was the supply, and eBay is your main source. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Heather just sold a large lamp at a loss, but cleared space and got money back. That's part of the idea. Now, just before we go, we're at the hour mark, so I just want to show you 2 sites that are on our research deck that are coming up on our updated research deck that we're issuing again this week. For those of you who are members of the Kennel Club, you get access to it. I think we have 70 plus different research places that are on it right now. These were 2 we found because I started listing some stuff and I found this amazing Christmas sheet. This is so cute. I found this literally this week.
I think it's a tablecloth.
And it is such a cute tablecloth, actually. It's got a couple of little stains on it, but I was seeing on one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, which is Happy Vintage Linens and Sheets Auctions, that these were going for really good money. So I thought, you know what? This is where it belongs. And these were going in that group for sometimes $30, $40, $50. So I decided I needed to figure a little bit more about that. But I found this great site, which is called Vintage Sheet Patterns, because I also had another sheet with it. And I was like, I've never heard of this. I don't know if anybody is familiar with this at all, but it is vintagesheetpatterns.com. And the great thing is it's got manufacturers, it's got pattern searches on it. So you can take a look at something by a predominant color. So parts of it are still being completely redone. But if you wanted to look at beige circles and dots, it gives you all these different things. You can look at product categories. You can look at all these different things. So you can actually go by brand. You can say, oh, I want to look at Canon, and I want to look at Canon Durasoft. And you'll get names for these things. So that's the amazing thing, is this is giving us names for a lot of different patterns that we don't normally have. Like this is just down the side. Like this is Fieldcrest. Animals and insects from Fieldcrest. They have Calico Zoo. Oh, that's the pattern I have. So it's a really amazing site. It also has company profiles. You can sign on, and it doesn't cost you anything to sign on. There were things in here about where you can buy. What's new? There's a member side here as well. But there were things I just found in here. One was, where was it? It was just like tags and profile. Vintage sheet sizes. Who knew? I'm not a big sheet guy. So I went into the vintage sheet sizes to see that what different sizes could be made on things. And here's something that was an ad from somebody telling me what the sizes were from Canon in 1966. So this was a site I loved because it helped me a little bit with another thing that was in the Facebook group. We have tons of linens that we're getting into this time, which is great. Yes, there is truly a website for anything. Dangerous if you're a quilter. It could be, yes. Now, our other site is a little bit stranger, and it was for something that we were looking up, and I happened to be looking for one specific Star Wars item, and this Star Wars item that I had, I was in a Facebook group, and there was a lot of people asking about it, and I didn't know that these Star Wars figures from the 1970s, that there were different versions of the Star Wars figures. Well, there is this wild site that I found that I lost a little bit too much time in it the other day. Variant Villain. And it's a guide to variants in the Star Wars world. And it is the most bizarre thing because you actually get, it literally has an entire section on bootlegs, what they look like, how you can tell look at it. There's these many different Hoths. Who knew? I was in particular looking up a Jawa. And so I looked up there, and the figures are up here. So in the Star Wars figures, it went into there. I could click on a figure, the Jawa, and I can find out what their legs look like that are different, what their left leg and right legs look like, their eye differences. And this is just it. In this specific case, there are people that will pay more money for a Cater HK versus an F22 Cater. So if you happen to be, yes, this is such a rabbit hole. But if you happen to be somebody who likes that kind of stuff, or if you have this kind of items, which again, I have Star Wars figures, and I thought, you know what? I got to learn a little bit more about these, mainly because I actually had two of these little Jawas sitting in a little thing over here that I've had for about 25 years. And I was like, I got to figure out a little more about these and try and sell them, because one of them might be worth 300 or 400 or more. So I think it has different, I don't know if it goes into more recent stuff, Charmaine. It's like when I look at it, let's see, example. Go back to the size on it. Actually, I'm looking at it, and it does have, Charmaine, just so you can see, it does have figures that go up into Power of the Force, droids, and Ewoks, but I don't think they have stuff that's in the 90s sort of thing. It's mostly the older stuff that's in there. So again, 2 new listings. We're going to be adding those to our research guide for everybody who is a member of the Kennel Club. So remember, if you are in the craft group, we really want to see what you're doing that is large and in charge. We want to see if you got a xylophone that you can play as well. Rick, what are you looking at on the side there? Something else?
Oh no, I've got I'm adding the things to my copy of the list.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you take a look at that, but mainly take a look at your listing.
I'm finding this very interesting.
Sort your eBay items the way you probably hadn't thought about it before. Look at your Etsy items in your shop. Create a coupon. But keep doing the stuff with your own stuff before you end up going out and having to spend, or deciding you need to spend another $100, $200 on a thrift store. You've got profit piles galore, and not only profit piles, but money in those profit piles. So you got to remember that. It's not just the profit you're hoping to make, it's the money you spent in them. So take your time in the next couple of weeks and keep going through them and start pushing off the stuff that is just not going to help you, gives you space. Free up the space and maybe tell yourself, I'm going to make a deal with myself. I'm going to get rid of $50 worth of crap that I bought that isn't worth anything. I'm going to donate it. And that's going to let me have a $50 budget to buy new stuff. Why not? Try and trade it off. So don't just go out and shop more. You got to shop and you got to make a deal with yourself on how you get to shop. Rick always said that to me. Whenever I wanted to buy a new pair of shoes, he always said, you can't bring one pair in without getting rid of one, because I have way too many shoes.
You still do.
It's your day's activity. You have to go out. You can go out, but give yourself the challenge of, I can't bid on that auction, Heather, until you sell that chair, that sort of thing. Thanks so much, Susan. Thanks so much for giving us the compliment. We do try as much as we can to give you as much as we possibly can to help you with stuff. Stay off the roads. Yes. Shop at home. That should have been the title of today's share. You're right. It should have been. To hell with winter. Shop in your house.
I still think that we should have a, oh my God, look what we found in our profit pile show.
Well, we can have that too. We can do one of those in maybe next week, maybe in February. Thank you so much. I'm glad it was helpful. And again, join us in the craft group, and you'll see some more stuff in there. And we're going to try and post some other stuff as we get forward, and trying to build some videos, but it's just takes a lot of time, and I'd rather be listing and clearing at the moment. So we will see you next Tuesday, but I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. It's still going to be something in the world of fixing your year, getting ready for your year. We can have an Ask Us Anything show. Maybe we'll do that next week. That'd be a good one. Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll do that next week. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Stay warm. Stay safe when you're driving. And we will see you again very soon here at 2 Nights on the Hall Pass.
Thanks, kids. Bye.